What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. They're not showing my resources action because I'm watching a team game. Spawning in the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Mosca. His partner today in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is Mariano. And on the other side of the map in the light blue color, playing as Set. His name is Squash. And finally, rounding out the players in the green color, playing as Zeus. His name is Ulysses. This is as high as the level is going to get, ladies and gentlemen. This is some sweaty team games. These guys are at peak condition. And we'll see how things are going to go. I'm excited to see Squash playing some Set here. We'll see what he's going to come up with. He is known for being an incredibly clean Age of Mythology player, generally having a very, very solid understanding of the gods. But I really haven't watched him play Egyptian all too much lately outside of Ra. And one thing that a while ago Squash did say is that his Ra is really just a cheesy team game Ra. He doesn't really rate his Ra at a super high level, which might translate into him not having really worked out the Set to the highest levels. But we'll have a watch and we'll see what's going to happen here. He does go for a slight delay on the gold mine. Very, very old school Set opener here. Meanwhile, we're seeing Mariano enjoying his base here. He's got himself that Dwarven Gold Mine. In team games, I do rate going for the Dwarven Gold Mine earlier as Thor, just giving you as much of a boost as possible. There's some really, really fast second town centers that are available to a fast Dwarven Gold Mine Thor user, which Mariano is going to try and display in this game. Meanwhile, over here, we do see the Katoskopos of Mosca searching around, looking for something to find. And up on this position, we do have Mosca going to be grabbing the granary in the back corner here. So a Zeus mirror down the bottom and a Set versus Thor matchup on the top. Now it is a team game, so things are very, very different here, but we'll see how it's all going to result. And we'll see if these Zeus players do decide that they need to go for Centaur here. Now, Mosca going for Centaur in this game makes a lot of sense because he's against Set and he's against Zeus, both gods that aren't going to be able to punish the early game of a Centaur user. If you're going Centaur in a team game against like a bunch of Norses, an Atlantean, you can often get tripled or doubled. This is a 2v2. You can often get doubled super early, and your Centaur is just not going to get going, and you're going to have some real big troubles there. But in this situation, that's not really going to be happening here, as we do see some Rhinoceros getting converted away here, stealing those away from Mariano. Very, very sneaky here from Squash. Mosca here not scouting that one out. Mariano here in his main base, only going one Ulfsark in this one, as we do see Freya coming through, we see Ptah coming through, we see Hermes coming through, we see not Freya, we see Forseti coming through actually, as Mariano changes his mind there. But Squash with a 3:30 advance time, he's getting himself that first monument up. He's got himself 10 villages on gold here, and we'll see how things are going to go as more houses coming up on this position. Lots of rhinos in the base here. Do we see any priests coming out? We don't see any priests coming out for Squash, so this does indicate to me that it's probably going to be a town center here and not going to be a shifting sands timing attack. Nope, I told a lie. The priests are coming out a little bit later than I would have expected, but he is going for that timing of shifting sands. Now, there will be access to a ceasefire, but it's probably going to miss, so to speak. There is a world where Squash can go for like a vision and steal this back town center or do something crazy here, as the Rhino getting pulled back, the villagers here with the Pharaoh coming in. Does he have Hands of the Pharaoh? No Hands of the Pharaoh just yet. Vision onto this position here, going to be going straight after Mosca's villagers here. Hermes about to hit here. One villager down, two villagers down. Shit, ceasefire. No, wait, one villager down? I can't tell. I think it was just one villager down. Ceasefire dropped there straight away. Squash, he's produced these priests. He's got some damage done, but really not that much. One villager kill for that shifting stance. for the trade of a Shifting Sands trade with the trade of the Sparrow not gathering. This is huge for Mariano on this side. It does give Ulysses a slight advantage moving forward in this game, but we'll see how things are going to go as Squash going to pull all the way back to his home base, getting himself this town center up. He's got the Rhinoceros in position to eat there. He's pulled off the gold mine for the time being. I just want to see how much gold he's actually got in his base. He's only got himself 183 gold, so he will be needing a little bit more as he does move up onto this hunt over here, realizing that he needs that to start coming through. And Sylvan Law going to be coming through very, very quickly. We already see Sylvan Law in for Mosca as he's starting to get some good damage done onto Ulysses as Ulysses pulls away. Meanwhile, onto this position, we see Ulysses coming in with his own heroes. There is going to be a bolt available here for these players to utilize onto an Odysseus or something. Has that already happened? There is still a bolt for Mosca remaining as Ulysses bring in his own Centaur polemarks over here to try and deal with this one as Mosca pushes in. Definitely don't want to be using that special ability on a Katoskopos here. Ulysses has been very, very cheeky with that one. As the Centaur going to pull back. Jason coming in to help out. And these players are just pulling away. Walls are all up now for Mosca. His base is very, very nicely defended here. There is an opening up here. I'd love to see Mariano walling this one off for Mosca here, and also to defend himself, because Ulysses at any point here, he can just decide to send the Centaur over and get some harassment, as we do see some walls coming up here from Mariano, already trying to put some pressure onto Ulysses here as the stables starting to produce those Hippocon. Meanwhile, the Centaur coming through, going to get some damage done onto these Hursa over here. As Ulysses almost loses a Centaur, does pull back there, almost picks off a Centaur as well as this one pushes in. Not going to take all too much damage there as it pulls away, but both Mosca and Ulysses, looks like Ulysses is actually defending here really, really nicely as Squash is just getting let. He's just doing whatever he wants here. He's just getting done whatever he needs. The armory going to be coming out. If you don't go for a Shifting Sands play, if you don't build a whole bunch of priests, you can kind of get yourself somewhere between a 7:45 and an 8-minute heroic age. If you do go for a Shifting Sands play, you're kind of looking for more like an 8:30 to 9-minute heroic age off of 2 town centers. So Squash is going to be joining in much, much later here in this game as Ulysses really has to retreat back. There's the bolt there onto that Odysseus as he wants to get a little bit of damage done onto those Hippocon. Still no second town center up for Mosca here, which is a little bit of a surprise. Same too for Ulysses, but it does kind of make sense that Ulysses hasn't gone for a town center because he's getting doubled to some degree. Meanwhile, Mariano's getting a second town center. He's built a lot of Hursa out himself. Nephthys is now on the way for Squash. As the Centaur coming in, going to be sniping down that Katoskopos over here. 10 HP remaining on that one as the Hursa going to be sneaking around here, looking to pick off some villagers on the back. As the Nephthys just about to come through. 60% of the way. Where is he going to go with this Migdol is the big question. There is a nice safe back gold mine here, but do you want to come forward onto this position and try and get that Migdol up? The thing is that Mariano's already over here protecting that position, and he's checking out this gold mine on the back here. So Squash is in a little bit of a trouble here moving forward. He's got a lot of villagers on wood, so he wants to spam out those chariot archers very, very quickly. Nice little wall coming up here. This is super cheeky from Mariano. This is one of those things that Norse can do and has been able to be done for a very, very long time, and it's super strong to just get in and get some cheeky walls up in your opponent's face. Super strong, doesn't cost a whole lot of resources, and gets a lot of value there. As now Ulysses is leaving this position, does get spotted by those Hursa over here. They do have Hall of Thanes. He is playing Thor, so they're not going to have that extra speed boost that that Loki has, but they still got a speed boost nonetheless, so they can pull back and help out. As the Centaur get pushed in, they will get spotted there. Troll coming through trying to join in, but does not have the track rating to hit these Centaur all too well, as the Centaur do snipe down one Dwarf. They're going to be leaving that position straight away. Meanwhile, we've got the Migdol Stronghold up for Squash. No siege works just yet. What's the next position here? He's on the goats in this position. He's got the giraffes over here as well. I only see one monument up for him, so he's not going to be going for any sort of animal eating shenanigans here. Instead, Longhouse coming up for Mariano as the Scorpion Man searches around on the back here for someone to kill. Lots of villager picks off of Mariano here as Squash is looking to hurt him as well, as the Hursa come back trying to track these guys down, but the Centaur, they're just so absurdly quick here as he picks off almost picks off a villager. The Hursa now getting a little bit of damage done onto those Centaur. Picks off one of them As another one retreats back. Good control there from Ulysses to not lose more than one on that position. As the town center coming up on the back here. As Mosca is getting free reign on this position. The Pharaoh immediately comes over here as Squash is well and truly on his game here. Taking down those centaur nicely. But the town center gets up for Ulysses. He's up to 2 town centers. Mosca's on 2 town centers. Mariano's on 2 town centers. Everyone's on 2 town centers now. You get a town center and you get a town center and you get a town center. I don't even know what I'm saying. So Santa going to pull back here for Ulysses, and the game is going to move into its next stage as Squash searching around for some villagers to pick off here. As those, the big weakness of Chariot Archer raids are going to be literally any amount of cavalry come in and actually churn them up. However, Squash here, I think he's going to know that, and he's not going to want to hang around. He's shown himself, and he's going to say, all right, I'm pulling away. I don't want to lose my units there at this point. That's the Centaur just pulling back for the time being. These players really, in the kind of Zeus mirror, the best thing to do, generally speaking, is get your 3 town centers and just skyrocket to the Mythic Age as fast as you possibly can. Spamming out military units in order to get yourself Hunt and the stuff in the middle really doesn't matter all too much, especially if there's like Rhinoceros here and the like in the main base for Ulysses. As Mosca here, he's actually playing this one really, really well. So we'll see how things are going to go. Horus is already clicked up here by Squash as he's going for the double walls over on that position there. More units popping into the middle of the map here. As the Chariot Archers going to get pulled back. We do see Mariano starting to put some pressure onto Squash over here. As he is getting a little bit caught out. Some nice play here. But the tornado timing is going to be coming. And there's no ceasefire to stop this tornado from getting some serious value. Plus, there's going to be access to an Ancestor as well here. And the question is, now there's 2 monuments up for Squash. How many monuments do you go up to? And does Squash go for like mass Avengers? Or does he go for Rhinos? Or does he go for Hippo? Or what? He is spamming farms up in his main base because he also has to start up a trade route here as the army pushes in onto this position, taking down a Wadjet. Do you see the priest going after that Frost Giant there as well? And we'll see how things are going to go as the Centaur pulling back. And Ulysses, you're taking a big fight. He's also got Mariano on this fight to deal with as well. There's no Squash in sight for the time being, as one Chariot Archer is seemingly trying to sneak through here to maybe find a tornado of some sort to get used straight away. Meanwhile, do we see anything coming up here for Mariano? No buildings. So all the units are just going to push through on the map as the tornado does just get dropped down. We'll be able to take out this town center. There is crenellations, but there is no... Actually, it might not. It might not. Crenellations, with the longhouse, this might survive. Especially with the hill fort over here. Never mind. Turns out I don't actually know how tornado works. Town center goes down. Avenger, great micro here. Taking down that Frost Giant. Ancestors getting dropped in as the Ulfjarls helping out. The Ulfjarls don't actually get a bonus versus the Rhinos here as the Frost does get dropped down, but the Avengers do get a bonus versus the Avenger over there, so we'll be able to clean that one up. Ursa get a bonus versus those Animals of Set though. As the Pharaoh comes forward and he's like, I want to get myself the town center up, but I can't. And Mariano is taking this fight very, very in a very, very big way. Mosca might want to come over and actually assist over here, because if you can take a fight over here, pick off these units, stop the town center from getting up. So we do see some Rhinos of Set coming through. They do have Feral. Do we see another monument somewhere here for... No. One thing that I think that is super, super underrated for Set players is simply just getting 3 monuments, getting 4 monuments up. Because then you can just spam these Animals of Set out. As we do see a ceasefire getting dropped there by Ulysses to help Squash get himself the town center up. Everything is sorted. Everyone's going to go up to their 3 town centers here. The problem, though, for Squash is that his timing is now over. Tornado is being used. Town center is up for Mariano on both fronts here. He's got the market here as well. And Mariano is going to be able to hit a revenge timing of some sort here, whether that be with Ragnarok or whether that be with Fimbulwinter. Depends on what he wants, what sort of a style he wants to go going into the late game. But there is really no problem with Thor against Set in the late game. He should be able to be fine here, not needing to click Ragnarok. The Ragnarok in team games is always going to be really, really strong because you can rely on your partner to feed you back into the game. As Mosca here is all set up. Ulysses is also set up here. Apollo coming through for Ulysses. We've already got the Apollo in, I think, for Mosca here. So Mosca here, what he needs to do as fast as he can is to get himself a market up, get himself to the heroic age, get himself some fortresses down, make himself a handful of Prodromus just in case your opponent is full Hippocon. If he is full Hippocon, just a handful of Prodromus in order to prevent the Hippocon from getting value, and then mass Toxotes into mass Heliopoli is the best way to play that late game. As the Dwarves getting pushed off of this gold mine. There is still this gold mine at the back here, not being used by either of the players, as Squash has now got himself a Townsend. He's got himself the barracks up. He knows that the problem that's going to come his way is going to be the Ragnarok, but going in for Axe of Vengeance, going in for Axeman here. This is full Ulf Jarls for Mariano at the moment. He's got himself 2 hill forts coming up. He's going to continue to get these hill forts up. He's going to continue making those Ulf Jarls, and Squash is not going to be able to make Axeman at this point because those Jarls are just going to be way too much value. He needs to get out Spearmen in order to stop those Jarls from getting that value in, though there are also going to be these Huskar in. So there is a little bit of both to think about here as the Fortified Town Center coming through. For Mariano, Squash is in a really, really big position, good position here. He's got a lot of these camel caravans moving across the map, getting himself 91 gold. A trip there is a big amount of gold for him in this game. Meanwhile, no one else has really started the trade route, it seems, so we do have the trade route started for Mosca here as the army pushing through. Petropolis targeting down this town center as well. Where is Squash? He is nowhere in sight as the Axemen are popping out over here to push forward. Squash wants to put a lot of pressure back onto Mariano while Ulysses is under serious pressure here as the villagers get onto the town center. There's no fortified town centers in just yet for Ulysses, but he has clicked up on that one. Another Petropolis is in. Got to get that one targeting down that town center. Maybe it doesn't matter as it does end up falling there. Great attack from Mariano and Mosca on that position, but the Axemen are in. The catapult is in. Being on the defense against an Egyptian player is not a place you want to be as Thor, because it's just so hard to push back. Those Axemen are so strong, plus Axe of Vengeance is going to take out those longhouses really, really quickly. Ulysses is going to pull back here, but I imagine Squash's economy is just so gigantic because of the trade caravans already being started, as the hill fort going to be getting taken down there. Frost Giant retreating back as well. We do see the hill fort getting slowly but surely getting cleaned up as the Huskar is still getting trained down. You really don't want to be building those at this point against champion Axemen. You have to go into mass cavalry or get yourself out Ballista, or maybe even Trolls here wouldn't be a bad idea to deal with those Axemen. They got very low pierce armor, something you don't see very often. Frost Giant's obviously not a bad idea, but a double hilt Migdol's already up here for Squash as a third Migdol. They're so cheap as set to spam these Migdols. 300 gold a pop there. Plus you've already got all of those camel caravans in. As the town center now going to start getting torn down. Hephaestus on the way here for Mosca as more Axemen going to be pushing in here. These priests on the back need to really start being a little bit more safe. Do they have themselves funeral rites? No funeral rites, so the Frost Giants aren't taking a whole bunch of damage. With the Pharaoh in here, that does a lot of damage. But Mosca here, after that attack, is able to grab this town center. So now it's going into this position where it looks as if Mariano, he is going to have to pull away here. He is going to have to pull back into his main base because he is completely pushed off this position with the 4 Migdols surrounding this. But Mosca here, he's going to be able to claim this position here, but he does retreat back, and Ulysses isn't going to allow that. Basically, Mosca has to keep pushing. He has to get this town center up first before pulling over here. As we do see Hephaestus coming through for Ulysses and for Mosca. When that Hephaestus hits an Underworld onto Squash's back here to kill off the trade route and kill off the back town center is going to be a really, really difficult thing for Squash to defend, and especially Ulysses being behind on population here, as well as Mosca. He's still sitting in here waiting, watching. Do we see any fortresses up here for Ulysses? Answer, not just yet. But Squash here, he's got himself the axe, the scalped axe, no. What's it called? Axe of Vengeance. He's got himself Catapult. And Mariano is in desperate need of assistance moving forward in this game, as the catapult going to be able to take down those houses there. Town center on the front, about to get finished up here, though the villagers have managed to stop that one. Do we see an underworld passage somewhere? Is that what we're seeing? Did I miss something? No? No underworld passage? Hold on. No, okay. I just thought I heard the... I'm going crazy. Alrighty. Villagers here still not able to get that town center up as the Toxotes targeting down some Ulysses villagers in the center of the map here. Town center up for Squash, and Squash is just not going to take his foot off the pedal here. Great little raid coming over here, hitting off those villagers of Mariano as well, as Forge of Olympus coming through, Hand of Talos, Coinage, Heavy Infantry Shaft Mine coming through as well for Ulysses, but it does look like this town center slowly but surely, Mosca is going to be able to grab that one. As the Palace coming up there for Ulysses. Villagers coming over here for Ulysses underneath this gold mine. 600 gold left in on that one. No other gold mines in sight here for these players. But in all honesty, Squash can probably just tribute gold over to Ulysses at this point. As we do see one Silver Colossus is in. Do we see that? We still don't see funeral rites in just yet for Squash. Now the town center on the front is here for Mosca. Tier is coming through, which will slow down these players a little bit here. As the Colossus not quite going to be able to take out the town center. Even if you do take out the town center here, it's just going to get shot straight back up by the villagers here. And Squash is just like, I am a Migdol fiend. Look at all the Migdols. 5 Migdols on the front, plus a Migdol over here, plus a Migdol over here. He's built 7 Migdols in this game, taking full advantage of that cheapness in the Migdols there. Meanwhile, in this position, Mosca still has got control of this position. As always, Greek here is going to have that advantage moving into the late game. Now, the question is really, is that going to matter or not? As the raiding cavalry take out the axemen over on the back there. And Mosca, he's just not putting enough pressure in here. There's that Thimble Winter. Now you've really got to be going here. You've really got to be attacking. Needs to be making himself those... Wait, does he have a... I don't even think he has a Heliopolis. As another Silver Colossus going after this position. Tower's starting to come up for Squash to hold here. As no Ragnarok for Mariano. Does he have a trade route started? No. Market is coming up. We do see the trade route is up for Mosca, sorry. So he can get that one there. As the villagers here of Mosca on this gold mine as well. There is a gold mine over here that can be grabbed, as it does look like Mosca's got full control of this position. As some more military buildings are coming up here. And we do see that in this... given this timing here, Mosca decides time to go after this town center, but there's just no siege here. This is just Toxotes. This is not the army you want when you're going after buildings. You want to make yourself siege. You want to make yourself hoplites here aren't a bad idea, but that's also having to deal with axemen. So just siege and colossi are kind of the only thing to really push through on this position, and Mosca just has not managed to make that work there. As the Axemen pushing through, how the upgrades. Full bronze here for Squash on this position. As the siege, the catapults here going after the town center as well. Meanwhile, we do see Mosca pulling back. Ulysses pushing in on this position to try and take out those chariot archers there as well. As Winter Harvest coming through. We do see the Ballista in here, and these are great defense to take out those catapults because they can take them out from range. They deal 5 crush, and the catapults only got itself 89% crush armor, so it's still getting a decent amount of damage there as the Bellerophon does come in, does snipe down that catapult there. Nice play where that's concerned. As we see Ulysses putting up a fortress over here, trying to grab that gold mine. Does look like Ulysses is doing a fine job defending here, but he's still not quite got that town center back. It wouldn't be a bad idea for Squash to start focusing over here to try and take out this position of Mosca, because Mosca is going to be the big problem moving forward here. Yes, these Ballista are something to be worried about, but it's going to take a while for those to kind of get up, whereas the pain that is going to be Zeus, Hephaestus Zeus, is coming through here to take out this Migdol and everything else. We'll see if he can hold, as there's so much population here for Squash. Where's Ulysses' army is the big question. We do see a Silver Colossus coming through. Difficult to deal with this one. You need your own Colossus. Not really. You actually need your heroes out. Do we see any heroes coming out here for Mosca? I don't see them there. The Bellerophon with 29 HP needs to get healed back up. You can heal that one up with Temple of Healing on the temple there, as we see another temple coming up here for Mosca, as we do have the Bellerophon pushing through. Going to try and get a little bit of damage done onto those Colossus here. His Temple of Healing in. No, it's not. I don't see it coming through at all. The hoplites are going to come through. They see that low HP Bellerophon and they say, get out of here, sir. As the Heliopolite now pushing in to this position here. Meanwhile, also Ulysses is making his own Heliopoli. The Ballast are trying to break through onto this position. You have to target down the Pharaoh here. Targeting just the Migdol is not ever going to work. You have to target that Pharaoh. It can be tough, but there's no other option if you want to kill off a Migdol or a building of Egyptian here. As we do see this... is he targeting? No, he's just killing off that Migdol stronghold. I'm surprised to see that's still something the players are forgetting to do after a million games of Chemo holding for days. We do see the Heliopoli attacking the top town center as well, as the Pharaoh and village is going to swap their attack. You can take the Odysseus and target down that Pharaoh or anything else there. Meanwhile, town center can come back up for Ulysses as Mosca loses that advantage there. We do see a side build coming in here though for Mosca, as he's going to attempt to target down the main base here of Ulysses. Squash and Ulysses have not noticed this one just yet, as all the pressure is coming in here. Mercenary getting spammed out. I'm interested in what the resources of Squash are. He doesn't have a whole lot in the bank here, but it is going well for him in terms of score there. And in that position, Mosca does decide to tap out. GG. Incredibly well played boom here by Squash. And this attack, which Mariano did onto this town center, while it gave Mosca the advantage here, getting on the back foot against Egyptian, that's the hardest thing to deal with. It almost would have been a better idea to just put all of the pressure over onto Squash instead, potentially, rather than onto Ulysses there. Alternatively, just trying to play more stand-up-ish here and maybe asking Mosca to give you a Bellerophon or give you a little assistance against Catapult a little bit later to help him stabilize. Might have been another option there as well. But in the end there, Squash and Ulysses get the dub. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.